Alright, good day guys. Here is the question. It's still this is a leveling operation question. The following consecutive staff readings were taken on pegs at 15 meters interval on a continuously slopy ground. Take note of that. So we were given the readings and we were given the reading on station A. The reduced level of station A was given to be 50.250 meters, and he said from the last position of the instrument, two stations B and C with reduced level 50.8 and 51 meters respectively are to be established without disturbing the instrument. That is, we are not going to change the position of the instrument in order to establish the point station B and C. So we asked to work out the staff reading as station B and C, and also we should complete all the work in leveling field book form. Alright, one thing we should take note of, here now we're not shown, they didn't tell us which one is backside, which one is intermediate, which one is foresight. And it is essential we know that, because if not, there's going to be a problem. If the place is slopy, since it's a continuously slopy ground with same set, that shows at a setup, if you set on a point now, for instance, it is expected of the readings to be increasing. So once you see sudden change, it shows there is a change in the instrument position. For instance, if you look at what we have, 0.895 followed by 1.305 followed by 2.8 followed by 1.96. Normally, assuming there's no change of instrument position there, the number there should be greater than that 2.8. So that shows this 2.80 is foresight, while this 1.96 is a backside. Then if you continue that way, you see that this one is greater than this is greater than this, but this one is less than this. That shows there's a change of instrument position here. This 3.255 is obviously a foresight, while this one is a backside. Then we continue like that till after this one, you see that the value we are having next now, excuse me, 1.685 is less than 3.895. That shows there's another change of instrument positioning, and of course, the last reading on site is always the foresight. So, very quickly, let's now prepare our table. So, we have column for distance because we were given distance. We will have for backside, intermediate side, we have for foresight. Then we now decide on which of the methods are we using. For this leveling field and book reduction, we know we have height of instrument and rise and fall method. So this one I'll be using height of instrument method first. We can actually use the other method, and obviously we are going to get the same result at the end of the day, but it's one step at a time. Then there's always a column for remark. So we have, let's start writing out our readings. Let's prepare a table now. So the first reading on site is obviously the back side. So on that back side we have 0.895. Then this one is increasing. This is an intermediate site, because it's until after this 2.8, you see that this one is less than this. It shows this one is a foresight. That is 2.800 is a foresight. Let me rule it so that we will not mistake all these things for each other. Alright. Sorry. Alright. So I think it's easier that way. We have 2.80 as foresight. Then immediately after that, we have, once you have a change of point, you are going to have both foresight and backside at that spot. Then 2.690 is an intermediate site, because if you check the next one, you see it's increasing. Then after 3.255, you have 2.1 120, and that shows 3.255 is a foresight. There's a change of instrument there. Then we have 2.120 as back sight. All right. After that, the next reading is 2.825. That's an intermediate sight. Then we have 3.45. It's still an intermediate sight reading. Then we have 3.895. All right, this one is going to be foresight because after that, the next number we have is less than that. So we have a foresight here that is 3.895. Oh, it's not this line. We cannot have intermediate sight and foresight on the same line. So this is 3.895. All right. Then after this one, the next reading we have there, which is 1.685, is going to be back sight. And lastly, the last reading we take on sight, as I explained in the previous videos, is going to be the foresight. So we have 2.5. This one's supposed to be the foresight. But the reason why this one will not be foresight is because after these 2 points, they still want to establish station B and C. So this one will still remain, that 2.050 still remain our intermediate sight. Then we have 2 more rows for the staff reading for station B and C. All right, we were told that the interval is 15 meters. 15, that's just the very first one will be 0 meters. 0 plus 15, then plus 15, we have 60, 75, 90, 105, and 120. All right. Just like I've explained earlier, this one's supposed to have been the last reading, but they didn't change the instrument position before they established station B and C. That shows this one still remain intermediate, then it will still remain other 2 readings. So under remark, we have change of point. The first change of point we have is here. Anywhere you see backside and foresight to get end. Yes, backside and foresight, we have change of point. Another change of point here. Then I think another one here, CP3. Now, this point that we have 2.050, that is where station A is. Then after that one, we have station B and what? Station C. All right, what else did they give us? We have the reduced level of station A, and that is 50.250. Don't forget it's in meters. Then reduced level of station B was given to be 50.800, while station C own is 51.000. Now, I think from what we have now, we are done with literally all we're given in the table. Let's now start looking for all the missing this now. For us to reduce, we don't have this first reduced level. We don't have the first height of instrument and the rest. All right, what can we do from here? Don't forget, if you are using height of instrument method, the height of instrument at this point, the height of instrument at this yes, at this point, because we have both backside and foresight here. So the height of instrument that we have here that we don't know, minus this 2.050 is what will give us this reduced level. If you still remember how we do that. So height of instrument at chainage 105 meters minus 2.050 will give us reduced level of A. So the height of instrument we are looking for now equals to reduced level of A, which is 50.250 plus 2.050. And if we add these two together, we are going to get 52.300 meters. That shows the height of instrument at this point, at where we have CP3, is 52.300. Fine. Now that we've gotten this height of instrument here, to get this reduced level at this point, it is this reduced level plus this. Don't forget that reduced level plus backside equals to height of instrument. Then if that is the case, we have this height of instrument, we have backside, we are looking for reduced level. So we just make reduced level subject of the formula, and that is what? Height of instrument minus backside, and that is equals to 52.30 minus the backside reading, which is 1.685. So if you subtract that, we are going to get the answer is going to be, all right, if you subtract this, that's reduced level at CP3, that's 50.615. So we have 50.61, so that's the reduced level here, 50.615. all right, so this one is settled for now. This one is settled. Now this other point, for us to get the reduced level, the height of instrument here, we don't know it. The reduced level at this point, we don't know it. So what do we do? How do we get this? Now, what about you know that reduce the height of instrument at this change of point here minus this foresight is what is going to give you this reduced level here. Yes, the height of instrument at this chain is 60 minus, because once you have new one here, is what you use till this point. So this one is going to be the height of instrument we are looking for, which is the height of instrument as chainage 60 minus the foresight here, which is 3.895, will give us 50.615. So for us to get the height of instrument there now, we are going to add 50.615 and 3.895 together. All right, so that's going to be 50.615 plus 3.895, and that is equals to 54.510. all right, so we come back here and write the height of instrument at chain 60 now is 54.610. So also don't forget that this height of instrument minus this backside will give us this reduced level here. This is 54.510. Yes, 54.510. Yes, corrected that one. So we have this, just like I was saying, the reduced level here plus this backside, that is this reduced level at chain 60 plus the backside will give us the height of instrument that we have for that point. So to get the reduced level there, we just have to subtract it with the backside reading, which is 2.120 from that 54 from that 54.51, that's okay, 54.51 minus 2.12, and that gives us 52.39. So the reduced level we are looking for at CP2 is 52.390. Good. Now that you have, since you have the reduced, you know that height of instrument minus either the foresight or the intermediate site will give you reduced level. If that is correct, then from here we can just say this height of instrument minus this reading here, that is to get this reduced level here, this 54.510 minus 2.825 will give us this reduced level here, and that is 51.685. Also, this height of instrument minus this intermediate side, that is 54.51 minus 3.45, is going to give us the next reduced level, and that is 51.060. To confirm maybe what you've done is right, this 54.51 minus this 3.895 should give you 50.615. If not, that shows you've made mistake somewhere. Plus 895. Correct. What I have here with me is 50.615. Okay, it's still remaining the last one. Now, to get this last one, you can still repeat this same process till you keep on going till you get this one, or from your arithmetic check, you can get the first reduced level. Since you have the last one, you can add, if you add up all this backside together, the result is 6.660. Then the addition of these four sides we can't still get this one, and the reason is because we are yet to look for these two. Maybe it's going to be here and here, or here and here. We've not looked for that one yet. Until we get the staff reading, we can't get the summation of the four sides. All right, so let's continue while we look for the remaining reduced level and the height of instrument. All right, now we know fully well that height of instrument at this point at chain 30 minus this first site reading here will give us this reduced level. That is, height of instrument at chain 30 equals, okay, minus the, minus the first site reading here, which is 3.255, will give us 52.390. Now, what we need to do now is this 52, just collect like times 52.390 plus 3.255. So we have 52.390 plus 3.255, and that gives us 55.645. All right, so what we are looking for here is 55.645. This one is the height of instrument as chain age 30. So we come here quickly and write your 55.645. So since you have this, knowing fully that height of instrument equals to backside and reduced level, then you can get this one that is missing. That is height of instrument equals to reduced level plus backside. So we have the height of instrument to be 55.645 equals to, we don't know the reduced level, but we know the backside to be 1.960. So what we just have to do here is to make this reduced level subject of the formula. This one will, this is plus, right? So is this one that is crossing equality sign minus 1.960. So what we have there if we subtract this, we have the reduced level supposed to be 53.685. So you come back here quickly to come and write your reduced level, that is 53.685. All right, that is settled. Then how do we get the reduced level here? This height of instrument minus this staff reading here, that is 55.645 minus 2.690, and that gives us 52.955. all right, it's still remaining the first reduced level. How do we get that one? We can still use the same process, the same method we are using. We know fully well that reduced level, we cannot have, all right, yes, there's supposed to be one height of instrument here, but we don't know it yet. But we have the back side, we don't have this one. But from our knowledge of using height of instrument method, we know that the height of instrument here minus this 2.8, which is the first height, will give us this reduced level here. That is, the height of instrument minus 2.8 will give us 53.685. So what are we going to do? Just collect like times. We have 53.685 then plus 2.800, and that will be equals to 2.8. all right, so we have 56.485. That's just the first height of instrument here is actually 56.485. Then if we can get that, to get this first reduced level, it is this 56.4, that is the height of instrument here minus the back side, will give us this. So height of instrument equals to reduced level plus back side. So it is reduced level we are looking for. So reduced level now is equal to height of instrument minus back side. We have the height of instrument to be 56.485 minus the back side is 0.895. So 56.485 minus 0.895, and that is equal to 55.590. all right, so that's what the first reduced level here is 55.590. and to get this last reduced level here now, for this one to be complete for now, so this height of instrument minus this intermediate side is what is going to give us this reduced level here, that is 56.485 minus 1.305, and that is equals to 55.180. okay, fine. Now don't forget that we want to establish this station B and C. Obviously the staff reading for station B cannot be foresight, because it's at this same setup that they have this intermediate site that they will still, so this one is going to still be intermediate site, and since our station C is still going to be the last reading, is going to be foresight. So let this one be Y this one is equals to what? X, which is an unknown. Now the question now is, how do we get X? How do we get Y? Don't forget that is this same height of instrument. Normally, assuming you have all these readings and you want to get this reduced level, this height of instrument minus X is what is going to give you this. So this height of instrument minus Y is what is going to give you this. That makes work easier for us. So we have 52.300 minus X will give us 50.800. How do we get X? Just make X subject of the formula. We have 52.300 minus 50.800, and that gives us 1.5. So that's this one is equals to 1.500. You can confirm that to be sure. 52 Again, 52.300 minus 1.5, that's 50.8, which is correct. All right, to get the one for y, we have also 52.300, that is this height of instrument, minus y, that is the staff reading here, we give us 51.00. So what we are going to do is just make y subject of the formula. We have 52.300 minus 51.00. So if you subtract this, what are we going to have? So that one is going to give us 1.300. So value of y is the staff reading. In order to establish B and C, the staff reading at point B should be 1.500, while the one of station C should be 1.300. Now we can now perform our arithmetic check. So you add all the four sides together and that gives us 11.25. Alright, don't forget that arithmetic check, the formula, we have summation of backside minus summation of foresight equals last reduced level minus the first reduced level. We know the summation of backside to be 6.66, foresight 11.250. We know the last reduced level to be 51.00, and we know the first one to be what? 55.59. So if we subtract this, we have this one to be minus 4.59. Then we also have the other one too to be minus 4.59. That's just check okay. Assuming these two are not equal, it shows your check is not okay. Yeah, you know, your knowledge of height of instrument method helps greatly. There might be other method. Yes, there's obviously another way you can still do this that you will still get the same answer. Once you understand the logic, you can decide to first of all go and get the value of these readings, to use that from arithmetic check, get the first one. That one is not bad too. All right guys, to this end, we've come to the end of this solvings. We are done with it. You can see now, simple question, simple result. We've gotten what we are looking for. Thank you guys. Don't forget to like. Don't just watch this video, like, subscribe, share. If this thing has benefited you one way or the other, obviously there's nothing wrong in you sharing with your friends. Thank you.